Good evening, stargazers. Tonight we lie back, eyes up, minds open. Because sometimes the deepest answers we need aren't found in our phones or our journals or our busy routines, but in the quiet, ancient gleam of the night sky. I'm Yarrow, and this is Dusk and Dreams. Tonight's reflection is all about looking upward and inward, finding connection in the cosmos. We'll explore why stargazing soothes our nervous system, how ancient civilizations didn't just map the stars, they mapped themselves directly into the constellations, finding meaning in every twinkle. And how today, modern neuroscience and psychology are rediscovering what the ancients always knew. Profound awe changes us. From our own circadian rhythms to the vast cosmic rhythms of the universe, we'll dive into why the night sky might be the oldest, most honest mirror we've ever had. Let's begin our journey. Long before satellites or smartphones, before telescopes or streetlights, humans were already in deep conversation with the cosmos. They didn't just see pinpricks of light. They saw stories in the stars. They saw calendars, warnings, blessings, and profound guidance. And those stories weren't just decorative. They were absolutely essential. They explained the seasons, guided sacred ceremonies, and gave deep meaning to spiritual life. Every point of light carried immense significance. In ancient Mesopotamia, stargazing wasn't a hobby. It was a deeply sacred duty. This may have been the first civilization to truly organize the heavens into constellations, with records dating back over 5,000 years to 3000 BCE. To the Sumerians and Babylonians, the stars were divine symbols, active participants in their lives. Taurus, for example, marked the spring equinox and was beautifully associated with fertility and renewal. Scorpio was linked to death and the underworld, but also rebirth through its connection with the goddess Ishtar. These weren't just zodiac signs. They were powerful cosmic archetypes shaping everyday life. Priests and astronomers tracked celestial movement with obsessive care, etching detailed star charts on clay tablets that survive to this day. They believed the heavens were literally the gods' message board, a divine script revealing omens, destinies, and vital warnings. The Mesopotamians divided the sky into 3 celestial paths ruled by their gods, and even developed the very foundation of the zodiac we use today. Their detailed astronomical records helped them forecast floods, eclipses, and even the right time to plant crops. For them, it wasn't just mysticism. It was survival and sacred order woven into the fabric of the universe. The Egyptians, too, carved their afterlife into the stars. Sirius, whom they called Sopdet, was incredibly important, as her precise annual rising heralded the flooding of the Nile, the very lifeblood of their civilization. Her appearance was so accurate, it marked the beginning of their calendar year. But their cosmic vision was even deeper. The soul's journey after death was mapped alongside the constellation of Orion, who they associated with Osiris, the god of the underworld. Ancient pyramid texts even show the deceased pharaoh ascending directly through the stars, becoming one with the sky gods. Tomb ceilings shimmered not just with decoration, but with intricate star maps meant to serve as astral portals, guiding souls. In Egypt, the stars governed everything from agriculture to the afterlife. To die was to become a star, and to live well was to live in profound alignment with the cosmos. In ancient Greece, the sky was a vibrant mythological theater. This is where one of the most well-known constellations, Orion, comes from. His myth is tangled, like all good stories. Orion was a hunter, boastful, incredibly skilled, and often unruly. In one version, he angered the earth goddess Gaia by threatening to kill every animal, and she sent a scorpion to end him. Both Orion and the scorpion were then placed in the sky, on opposite sides, forever chasing and fleeing across the celestial sphere. But the tale doesn't end there. He also pursued the Pleiades, 7 beautiful sisters who fled from his relentless desire. To protect them, Zeus turned them into stars. Yet Orion still chases them across the sky, night after night, season after season. His eternal pursuit powerfully mirrors our own human experience, always reaching for something just beyond our grasp. To the Greeks, each constellation was a living tale of prideful kings, tragic maidens, or vengeful gods. And these stories weren't merely bedtime fables, they were profound ethical codes, celestial reminders of hubris, fate, and glory. The Greeks refined early Babylonian star maps, developing crucial tools like the astrolabe, and codifying knowledge in texts like Ptolemy's Almagest. For them, astronomy and philosophy were deeply intertwined. The heavens were both unending inspiration and vital instruction. In India, the ancient science of Jyotish Shastra, the Vedic system of astrology, wove cosmic patterns directly into human life from the moment of birth. Each person's arrival was stamped with a celestial signature, planetary alignments believed to influence karma, personality, and spiritual destiny. Temples were constructed in precise alignment with celestial events, and elaborate calendars guided complex rituals, auspicious marriages, and even naming ceremonies. The moon phases and nakshatras, lunar mansions, weren't just observed. They were honored as living, energetic forces, deeply influencing daily existence. Vedic astronomy shaped both spiritual and practical life, and the heavens were not distant but alive, moving through cycles that echoed the rhythms of breath, body, and consciousness. High in the Andes Mountains, the Inca and their predecessors saw the Milky Way not as a simple band of stars, but as a mighty celestial river, Mayu, flowing above and mirroring the rivers below on Earth. But what's even more extraordinary, they named dark constellations, not from the stars themselves, but from the vast dark patches of cosmic dust and gas between the stars. The llama, the fox, the serpent, these shadowy figures guided agricultural cycles, and their orientation marked important solstices and equinoxes. The night sky was both myth and farming manual, a cosmic rhythm woven into the mountains, the crops, and the very heartbeats of the people. The celestial llama, for instance, appears inverted in the Milky Way, drinking from the Earth's rivers and ensuring vital rain. Their myths weren't about conquest or dominion. They were about harmony, reciprocity, and ancient cycles of care for the land. The Lakota people in North America read the sky like a sacred book. The Big Dipper wasn't a dipper at all. It was Wichakia'a, the bear. Her path across the sky mirrored seasonal migrations and deep spiritual renewal. Each step of her journey had profound meaning. In the spring, she rises, bringing strength and awakening. In autumn, she descends, inviting rest, reflection, and a journey into the inner world. And then there are those, like the Aboriginal Australians, who see not just stars, but shadow. They speak of the emu in the sky, a massive figure made not from starlight, but from the dark patches between the stars of the Milky Way. Her head dips into a waterhole in springtime, signaling when to harvest emu eggs. Here, the void is seen as potent and meaningful. Silence is story. The unseen shapes the scene. Oral traditions stretching back over 65,000 years encoded rich astronomical knowledge, allowing them to navigate vast desert lands by star position alone. The Yolngu people, for instance, tell of Barnum, Venus, a creator spirit who crossed the sky trailing a rope of light, shaping the very land. These sky stories weren't abstract. They were direct, living links between cosmos, culture, and country. These myths are not just tales of the past. They are blueprints for how to truly wonder, to orient ourselves, to feel like we belong. To ancient peoples, the stars were not distant. They were intimate. They moved with us. We dreamed through them, grieved under them. And when we lost our way, we simply looked up. The sky was living memory. It was a vast calendar, our first compass, but maybe most of all, it was a profound mirror. And here's the quiet truth. The more we understand the science of the stars, the more their magic returns to us. Let's move now into that science, our body, our brain, and why a little stargazing might be the balm we forgot we needed. There's a moment, if you simply allow it to happen, when the stars begin to soften you, not just your body, but your thoughts, your breath. That constant hum of mental static gently quiets, and that's not just a poetic feeling. It's a powerful biological one. Because when we gaze at the stars, something ancient awakens within us, and something anxious gently eases. Modern neuroscience calls it awe, but long before that word, people just instinctively said, look. Awe, scientifically speaking, is our brain's profound reaction to vastness, especially vastness that can't quite be grasped, like the cosmos. It stirs a deep sense of wonder, of mystery, of being both incredibly small and yet somehow deeply held and connected. Studies from the University of California and the Greater Good Science Center consistently show that awe activates the parasympathetic nervous system, our body's fundamental rest and restore mode. It actively quiets the default mode network, that busy system in our brain responsible for looping on self-talk and rumination, and it gently stimulates the vagus nerve, which finally regulates breathing and heart rate, sending clear signals of safety, calm, and connection throughout the body. But awe doesn't just relax us, it actually reshapes us. It helps us feel more connected to others, more compassionate, and more open to new perspectives. Just a few minutes of focused stargazing can reduce cortisol, our stress hormone, enhance memory, and powerfully spark creative insight. There's even evidence that it releases dopamine, our reward neurotransmitter, not the quick hit that comes from checking a notification, but the deeper, more sustaining kind that's linked to genuine curiosity, profound exploration, and a sense of meaning. This is your brain saying, "This matters. Stay with it." What about you? Have you ever looked at the night sky and felt your thoughts drift? Softly, but far. That's also supported by science. It's called attention restoration theory. This theory suggests that natural, gently stimulating environments like a starry night sky create what's called soft fascination. Your mind is engaged, but it's not taxed. This allows your directed attention, the brain power we constantly use for intense focus, planning, and resisting distractions, to rest and truly replenish. The result? Mental fatigue eases. You think more clearly. You feel more emotionally regulated. It's nature's version of defragging your inner hard drive, bringing order to chaos. In fact, after dusk, the sky itself becomes a kind of mirror. When we stare into something infinitely vast, we naturally stop spiraling inward. We remember that we're part of something far bigger than the to-do list or the traffic jam or the pinging phone. That's what psychologists call the overview effect. Astronauts often describe this exact feeling when they see Earth from space for the first time, an overwhelming flood of emotion, humility, and profound connection to all of humanity. While the majority of us may not get to leave the planet, wouldn't that be amazing though? Simply looking at the stars gives us a powerful taste of that same reorientation. And there's more. Recent research in chronobiology, the science of internal time, has shown that exposure to natural light rhythms, including moonlight and starlight, directly helps regulate melatonin, our vital sleep hormone. Artificial light can scramble these rhythms, confusing our internal clock. But consciously stepping outside, reattuning to natural darkness, that helps reset the body's master clock, our circadian rhythm, and significantly improves sleep, digestion, and mood regulation. Not to mention, stargazing gently reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. It naturally increases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. And in couples, families, or groups, it can profoundly increase intimacy and emotional closeness simply by sharing a moment of awe. This is one time you truly don't have to do anything special. Just lie back, breathe deeply, and look up. It's one of the few remaining human activities that costs nothing, requires no credentials, and still delivers profound wonder every single time. And you know what? There's a deeper layer yet. The stars are ancient, and so is our relationship with them. It's been written into our DNA across generations, a form of ancestral code. Your nervous system doesn't just react to starlight biologically, it remembers. It carries the legacy of 1 million ancestors who looked up in wonder and felt less alone. Science has shown this connection is also deeply mindful and restorative. When we look up, we shift from the cramped spaces of our minds to the expansive openness of the cosmos. we move from internal turbulence to external wonder. This external focus becomes a form of gentle meditation, one that doesn't ask you to empty your mind, just to be with it, to float in it, to simply wonder. And this isn't limited to perfectly dark skies in remote places. Even in the city, even with light pollution and noisy streets, you can step outside, find the brightest star or planet you can see, and give it just 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. Let your eyes adjust. Let your breath slow. Let the mental static inside you dissolve, even a little. Afterward, try journaling a thought, or sit quietly with whatever feeling lingers. It might be wonder, or calm, or grief, or gratitude. There's no wrong answer, only what the stars reflect back. Because when you look up, you're not just seeing light that traveled billions of years to find you. You're meeting something that's been patiently waiting, not to fix you, but to remind you that you're not alone in the dark. You've never been. The night sky is also a fundamental part of our natural rhythms, whether we're experiencing it alone or together with others. Before we had watches, we had shadows. Before calendars, we had constellations. And before alarms, we had light. Our ancestors didn't just look at the sky for stories, they looked to it for synchrony, to align their lives, not just with time, but with perfect timing for everything. And while much has changed, your body still remembers this ancient wisdom. At the very core of your brain, deep in the hypothalamus, sits a small but incredibly powerful cluster of neurons, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. It's your master internal clock, and it doesn't tick like a machine. It listens primarily to light. When light enters your eyes, even through closed lids, it precisely tells your SCN whether it's time to wake, wind down, digest, focus, or sleep. This complex orchestration of internal systems is called your circadian rhythm, a crucial 24-hour cycle that profoundly governs your hormones, body temperature, cognitive performance, and emotional balance. And here's where it gets beautifully cosmic. Your body isn't just synced to hours, it's synced to skies, the fading amber of dusk, the cool blue of twilight, the soft silver of moonlight, the velvety black of starlight. Each carries vital cues. Cues your nervous system evolved over millennia to understand. But here's the challenge we face in modern life. Our constant artificial light, from screens, bright bulbs, and ubiquitous street lamps, blurs the natural line between day and night. It actively tricks the SCN, suppresses vital melatonin production, disrupts our natural sleep patterns, and leaves us feeling perpetually overstimulated when we should be resting. The result? Insomnia, mood swings, anxiety, chronic fatigue. It's as if we're fighting our very biology with every scroll past midnight, and the science backs it up. A 2024 longitudinal study in sleep found that irregular light exposure is linked not just to poor sleep, but to higher rates of depression, metabolic disorders, and even increased mortality risk. But there's a gentle solution, a powerful reset button we've always had access to. It's not found in a bottle or a setting or an app. It's found in darkness, real, natural, star-speckled darkness. Consciously stepping out into the natural night, especially without artificial light, helps recalibrate your internal clock. It allows melatonin to rise naturally. It grounds the nervous system, and it sends a clear message to your primal brain. You are safe. You can rest now. Across ancient cultures, this was not just known, it was lived. The Inca meticulously aligned their temples to starlight, timing crucial rituals with lunar phases. The Yoruba people watched constellations to know precisely when to plant, harvest, and pray. The Aboriginal Australians carried entire genealogies and seasonal knowledge through intricate star maps sung aloud under vast night skies. Even in feudal Japan, the delicate tsukimi, moon viewing, wasn't just poetry. It was profound medicine, emotional, spiritual, and deeply social. They didn't separate science from story, or natural light from vibrant life. And we don't have to either, because science and story are simply different languages telling of the same thing. Like we talked about earlier, the stars have always told stories, weaving narratives across the heavens. Before we had written language, before we carved meaning into stone tablets or tucked it between the pages of books, we simply looked up and we connected the dots. Not just to track the seasons or to navigate vast seas, but to make sense of ourselves and our place in the universe. The constellations were never just random patterns of stars. They were mirrors, maps, and living myths. They helped ancient people remember what truly mattered, when to harvest, how to navigate their physical world, and fundamentally who they were in the grand cosmic scheme. From ancient Greece to the Aboriginal Australians, from the brightest, most clustered stars to the dark patches of sky between the stars of the Milky Way, to our ancestors, even absence held meaning. Even shadow was story. But what does this mean for you today? You might ask. It means you don't need a telescope to feel a deep belonging to the cosmos. You don't need to know every star's name or trace every single dot. You just need to listen. What constellation calls to you? What shape draws your eye? What story might it carry that resonates with you now? And more importantly, what story is it reflecting back to you about your own life? Dreams, too, carry constellations. You may have dreamed of a single bright star, a falling light, or a swirling vast sky. These dreams often appear when you're searching, when you're between chapters, or seeking a compass to guide your next steps. A star in a dream might mean hope. A cluster of stars, perhaps it symbolizes community or connection. A constellation forming from chaos, perhaps a powerful sign. You're learning to find shape and meaning in uncertainty. So here's tonight's small practice. Look up the next chance you get. Just pick one constellation. Maybe Orion, still visible if you're in an area with winter skies, or Lyra, or Cassiopeia. These are often visible to the naked eye. Find your chosen one. Follow it with your gaze. And then write. You could use this journaling prompt. What pattern am I seeking in my own night sky of thoughts? Let the myth become a mirror, because the stars aren't just out there. They are in you. You are made of the same atoms, the same ancient fire, the same stardust, and in many ways, the same dreams. For me, stargazing isn't just something to do. It's something to enter. A portal of sorts, into calm, into wonder, into meaning. The stars don't rush us. They don't ask for perfection. They simply exist and invite us to exist with them more fully, more softly, more clearly. From a neuroscientific perspective, the benefits are real and remarkable. As we touched on earlier tonight, when we gaze at the stars, we engage what psychologists call soft fascination. The concept from attention restoration theory is the idea that environments like the night sky draw our attention gently without demanding it. Unlike our phones or inboxes or to-do lists, starlight doesn't interrupt. It invites. And that gives our overworked brains a chance to rest, to shift from cognitive effort to restoration. This quiet awe also triggers the default mode network in the brain, the part involved in self-reflection, memory integration, and creative insight. In other words, stargazing is one of the oldest, most natural mindfulness tools we have. It also stimulates dopamine, the neurochemical of wonder, curiosity, and learning. That same 2023 study in Frontiers in Neuroscience found that even 10 minutes of awe-based contemplation, like staring at the stars, increased emotional regulation and sleep quality. Another study published in Nature Human Behavior connected awe to greater humility, reduced loneliness, and an increased sense of connectedness to humanity. So what happens when we choose to make this a ritual? When we don't just look, but listen. When we don't just stargaze, but ask for guidance. Similar to the starting practice we tried earlier, here's a more robust one you can try. The Clarity Constellation Ritual. Choose a time at least once a week to step outside or sit by a window at night. Pick a single star, or if you know one, a constellation. You could even choose Orion's Belt, or Vega, or Altair, stars often visible to the naked eye. Bring with you one question. Not one you need an answer to now, but one that you'd like the universe's perspective on. What needs to shift? What truth have I been avoiding? Where is my next growth hiding? As you breathe, hold the question softly. Let the sky respond with stillness, or memory, or feeling. Write it down afterward if something rises. Even in cities with heavy light pollution, this works. Because it's not about how many stars you see, but how much stillness you let in. And of course, the sky is ancient, but not lonely. You can do this with someone you love. Share the question. Watch the same star. Or join others through an astronomy club, a stargazing app, or even a social thread online. The The sky is the great unifier, the first thing humans across time ever truly shared. And now, let's enter it together. Close your eyes and imagine yourself lying beneath a deep, ink blue sky. The grass beneath you is cool, soft, anchoring. Above you, velvet darkness scattered with stars. Some flicker, others hold steady. All are watching. Breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, feel your spine settle into the earth. The air is crisp, laced with the scent of wild herbs and wind-kissed stone. You are safe. You are still, you are starlit. Let your breath match the pace of the cosmos. Slow, vast, timeless. Now. Above you, one star begins to glow brighter than the rest. It pulses, not with urgency, but invitation. This star holds a message, a memory, a mirror. Breathe in and send your thoughts, your tensions, your tangled fears upward. Let the star absorb them like mist. Let them dissolve into light. With each breath, allow this star to become your companion. See it thread a silver filament from the sky to your chest. A tether, a reminder. You are not small. You are not broken. You are not alone. Ask this star for something now, softly. Clarity, comfort, direction, forgiveness. You don't need to speak it. Just hold it and let the sky hear you. Pause here. And now, feel the answer rise. Not as words, but as ease, as peace, as a loosening in the jaw, a softening in the shoulders, a warmth just beneath your ribs. Let it linger. Let the starlight imprint its message somewhere quiet in you. And when you're ready, wiggle your fingers. Touch your chest gently and return. Not to your day, but to your night, to your body, to your breath, to the knowing that something vast just remembered your name. So often, we look up hoping for answers. And while sometimes the stars don't give us immediate clarity, they almost always give us comfort. Not everything in life needs solving. Some things just need starlight. A little space, a little stillness, and something quiet to remind us that you are made of the same fire and gravity and shimmer as the night sky. So tonight, if you're wide awake at midnight, step outside, or open a window, or simply imagine the stars above your ceiling. Breathe. Name one thing you're releasing. Name one thing you're inviting. And let the sky gracefully carry both. Because you are not just watching the stars, you are the stars, looking back at yourself. Thank you for listening. I'm Yarrow Diamond. This has been Dusk and Dreams, and the night listens back. On our next Tuesday together, we'll journey into the sleep cycles of the ancient world, from moon-synced schedules to dream incubation temples. Because before the 9 to 5, humanity slept like the stars told them to. And maybe it's time we remembered how. But first, coming up this Friday, when the wind shifts and the trees begin to tremble, join me as your wild dragon in flight and listen closely. Some say that's just the weather, others know better. It's the sound of riders, spectral, ancient, thundering through the night skies. We'll chase the wild hunt across Norse sagas, Celtic woods, and Slavic storms, and ask, what does it mean to be hunted by fate itself? Bring a lantern, or at the very least, have a candle near. You may need it. It's been a privilege to guide you through another night on Dusk and Dreams. If this podcast helps you find peace, spark creativity, or simply offers a moment of captivating escape, please consider following or subscribing wherever you listen. Your support helps us build this community of night-minded souls. We're available on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon, as well as many others. To learn more about the show or connect with the Dragon's Dusk and Dreams team, visit www.breakgrid.com or follow me on Instagram at Yarrow Diamond. Thank you for listening and for sharing this time with me. Until we meet again, remember, the night listens back.